Today, President Andrzej Duda, who was in Przewodów, gave assurances that the missile was not aimed at Poland. In our view and that of our experts, it was definitely an unintentional accident, unfortunately. It was not that the missile was aimed at Poland and could not be treated as an attack on Poland. United States officials indicate that Russia is to blame for the tragedy in Przewodów. We have full confidence in the Polish government's investigation of the explosion near the Ukrainian border, and commend it for the professional and prudent manner in which it is conducting it. We have seen nothing that contradicts President Duda's initial assessment that the explosion was most likely the result of a Ukrainian air defense missile that unfortunately landed in Poland. Whatever the final conclusions will be, it is clear that the party responsible for this tragic incident is Russia, which fired a wave of missiles at Ukraine. Ukraine has every right to defend itself.
Our information supports what President Duda said earlier in his preliminary assessment, was that this was most likely a result of a Ukrainian air defense missile. But we'll let the investigation play out here.
The Ukrainian president maintains it was not a Ukrainian missile. I don't know what happened this time. We are not 100% sure. It seems to me that the world also does not know 100% what happened there. I'm sure, however, that it was a Russian missile. I'm also sure that we fired air defense missiles, but we can't say specifically that it was Ukraine's defense. However, we are thankful that we are not being blamed because we are fighting against Russian missiles, defending our territory. The NATO Secretary General declared that the North Atlantic Alliance is safe.
Investigation into this incident is ongoing, and we need to await its outcome. But we have no indication that this was the result of a deliberate attack. And we have no indication that Russia is preparing offensive military actions against NATO.
Polish diplomats also gave assurances that Poland is safe. This event would not have happened if not for the shelling, the Russian attack massed in Ukraine. Speaking at the United Nations Security Council convened yesterday, Polish Ambassador Krzysztof Szczerski said that the tragedy in Przewodów showed how close Poland is to a potential escalation of the conflict and that Russia bears total responsibility for the situation.
No matter what was the particular course of the events in Przewodów, that fatal afternoon, those innocent people would not have been killed if there had been no Russian war against Ukraine. Their only fault was the fact that they lived close to the civilian infrastructure on the Ukrainian side of the border.
Ukrainian representatives want to join a joint investigation that will clarify the causes of the tragedy. Russians claim that there was a provocation in blaming Moscow for the incident in Przewodów, but provide no evidence. We have long ceased to be surprised by your blaming Russia for everything, contrary to facts and common sense. The investigation into the tragedy is being led by Prosecutor General Zbigniew Ziobro. The investigation of this case is being conducted very intensively and dynamically. The Polish Prosecutor's Office, with the participation of services and experts, is carrying out all the necessary activities aimed at very thoroughly securing all possible evidence. Polish and American systems are deployed around Robieszów to monitor the situation at the border. Thanks to them, discovering the truth about the tragedy may be easier. The Polish border is screened very carefully. It is monitored all over, from planes, from the ground. All these issues happening in the air are monitored, recorded. Also, it will be possible for sure to check the flight of this missile on multiple records. On November the 15th, an explosion occurred in Przewodów, killing 2 Polish citizens. Preliminary information indicates that the cause of the explosion was a Ukrainian air defense missile, but regardless of the origin of the missile, the blame falls on Russia, which that day fired artillery shells across Ukraine.